Hey guys, my name's Ethan, and welcome to Rune Revolution. What is Rune Revolution? What is it that we do here? Well, I guess I'll start with the title. I know there are a lot of definitions out there, and language can be kind of confusing, but a rune, in Nordic mythology at least, to my understanding, I could be wrong. In Nordic mythology, a rune is a little building block. A rune is a building block of the universe, a small piece of the whole. The way my mindset works, I would tell stories all the time. I love telling stories. I told stories to myself for a really long time. That was kind of how I came to runes in the first place, was because I really liked the idea that there were hidden building blocks of the universe that you could uncover and you would suddenly understand everything. And there kind of aren't and there kind of are. On one hand, there are literally a million paths to the same goal. So if you think you can't be successful because you don't live in a good area, because you don't think you have enough money, you don't think you have enough talent, well, I mean, that sort of depends on what kind of goals you set. Because if your goal is to be 5'2" and you aren't, you could just wear really high heels. I don't know. Point is, there's a million ways to the same goal. There's a million paths to the exact same end. Okay, so that's Rune. Why Rune Revolution? You know, it's funny, kind of how history loops back on itself. That, on one hand, when civilization started, everyone was on their own. You figured things out for yourself. You figured things out for yourself. You figured things out for yourself. What you did was most likely either what your father did or something else. You figured it out. And we told stories. We told stories about gods and goddesses and fundamental forces like love and hate, and those were the way the universe worked for a while, in the minds of humans at least. And then as we went on, we discovered smaller pieces, we discovered bigger systems about the way things worked. And the universe got bigger, and it got smaller, and it got faster. People started producing information at a much faster rate. People started putting themselves on paths, you know. Science is the best, magic is the best, craftsmanship is the best. So as a result, we started teaching each generation that the best way to go about living your life was to listen to other people's instructions. That the best way to live your life was to tread the well-beaten path. And maybe if you pick up a couple hobbies along the way, then that's fine too. And actually, it's not everybody, it's the majority. There have always been people who have forged their own paths, who have done things a little bit differently. And those are more often than not the people who we learn the most from. That doesn't mean they're always the most successful, that just means we learn the most from them. They usually make the biggest mistakes and have the biggest successes. They're the outliers. And because there have been so many outliers, we can learn from them and be the best kind of outlier. Be whatever kind of outlier you want to be. And I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of the opposite of an outlier for a while. Yeah, I wasn't really into sports, and I wasn't altogether that popular. But I've grown up always having everything I needed. I grew up with a good education, good friends, good family, and that's amazing. I appreciate them every day. Point is, I was looking for something else though. And my dad and I recently had a conversation about what I was gonna do. I'm 15, and it's not gonna be a very long time before I start making my own decisions. So I decided to make different ones. Rune Revolution is two things. It's supposed to add value to two parties. One of them is me. It's a way for me to track my growth, my evolution, look back on my personal past to learn from it, and to plot my course into the future. And second, it's to provide value to you. If there's anything in my mistakes or successes that benefits you, benefits everyone, then I want you guys to have that. Because the people that we learn most from in society are the ones that chose to be different. The ones that trusted but verified through their own experience. You can be told by your parents and your friends and your teachers and everyone that came before you that the only path to success is the most common one. That's not true. They tell you, well, you just have to do that better than everyone else. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, that leads to unfortunate consequences. Rune Revolution is an idea. The idea that people can find success in their own way. Whatever makes them happiest. Success is defined by the individual. That's why you have people graduating college with the highest honors that then don't do so well, mentally or physically. I firmly believe that if you don't set a plan for your life, if you don't set a path for yourself, at least a direction, because I'm also a firm believer that planning out your entire life in one spurt never works out. At least not entirely. I think that people set beliefs for their life. You can do that in one spurt. Rune Revolution is an idea. It's the idea that anyone can be successful in any way they wish, in any way they want to. That the boundaries that hold most of us back are self-created. Rune Revolution carries a lot of firsts for me. It's not my first attempt at something like this. It is my first blog. It is my first YouTube channel. What I can promise is that I'm going to be honest with you guys. I won't say things because I believe it will make me more money. I'm not going to say things because I believe it's what you want to hear, or it's because I would believe is popular to hear. I think in stories, and one of the stories I always love reading about in all of its forms is secret societies that know things that the public doesn't. A secret group of people that have unlocked different truths, and their ways of looking at the world allow them to manipulate, whether that's manipulate minds, manipulate matter, manipulate the universe, unlocking that secret. I figured I'd have a pretty hard time getting into one of those organizations on my own, so I decided to make one. I haven't decided what this, I don't know what this organization is called yet. I don't know what this organization will include yet, but I'm in charge of it. It's my group. And I'm a part of this group. You have to change the world. I'm aware that making a YouTube channel and making a blog are altogether two pretty common things in this day and age. But my goals for them are much larger. I want my audience to grow with me, and And if you think about it the same way I'm thinking about it, the goal of my content is to give you a platform to jump off of for an initiation into my secret society. Look, the Rune Revolution to me represents the idea that people can do whatever they want to. The goal of Rune Revolution is to provide you with training in both practical skills and in ideals. Because the strongest people have the best mindsets and the best practical knowledge. If I could create a perfect channel exactly the way I wanted it right now, then after this video, all of you would have the motivation, the tools, the resources, and the mindset you needed to change the world in whatever way you want.